I'm Officer Miller. This is my captain.
All right.
I'm Officer Bass.
How are you doing?
You were told you're asking for money?
Yes.
What for?
A fundraiser that has non-commercial purposes.
Okay, what's the fund? For an organization?
No, I just told you it's non-commercial. So no organization, non-profit, no business relations, no goods or services are being exchanged. It's all non-commercial.
Okay. Well, my captain was nice enough to print off the ordinance for you here.
Yeah.
To be able to do a fundraiser, you have to get a permit.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
As long as it's non-commercial, it doesn't matter. Across the state of Wisconsin, it has to be for goods or services. So your captain left out details. It has to be there's two solicitations: commercial and non-commercial. That's a solicitation ordinance for commercial solicitation.
Well, it says for non-profit purposes. Right?
I'm not a non-profit. So this is purely educational. So that says non-profit. I'm not a non-profit. This is purely educational. So as long as it's non-commercial, non-profit, no organization relation, you don't need a permit. You don't need to ask permission. It's a First Amendment right protection. So you should go back and ask your captain for non-commercial solicitation.
I'm the captain right here.
Oh.
I printed this out. Yeah.
So you seem like a really intelligent person. You look and portray yourself like a really smart person. I could tell you probably went to school. I'm not lying to you. You have a First Amendment right to ask for donations,
sure,
as long as you're not asking for money in exchange for goods or services at any time in a public park. So you don't need a permit. It's not solicitation. It's not for a nonprofit. It's not for a business. You don't need a permit. I've done this for 8 weeks. I know the law. I've done it across the state of Wisconsin.
What's the statute you're looking up here?
It's a First Amendment right to ask for donations.
So, First Amendment right. So there's an ordinance passed in the town of Delevan here.
Yeah,
This is
but your ordinance
right
can't trump the First Amendment rights of people to ask for donations for non-commercial purposes.
But asking for donations,
Yeah.
whether it's for any reason,
Yeah, but
is considered begging.
No, it's
under the
not
ordinance.
panhandling.
Yes,
It's not
it is.
panhandling.
It is. It
Okay,
is. Because
sir.
you're asking for
Sir,
donations.
I
Yes.
promise you that I've dealt with this before and I've won. I know the law.
What's
the First Amendment right. It's something versus Reed. The United States Supreme Court has already determined that people have a right to ask for donations as long as you're not asking for money in exchange for goods or services, or you're not associated with an organization. If so, the government has to keep track of every dollar you donate, every dollar that's donated.
I get that from a state, maybe, a state standard limit. There's been an ordinance that's been passed specifically by the town of Delavan.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Your ordinance can't beat the First Amendment rights. Your ordinance has to be in line with your First Amendment rights. So every ordinance in the town of Delevan has to abide by the Constitution. It is a constitutional right to ask for donations the way I am asking right now. It's not a business. It's not a nonprofit, and I promise you that it is completely legal. So
based on you just saying that it's completely legal is not good enough for me. You know what I mean? I'm working with the ordinance here. Okay.
Would you like to take an opportunity to ask your legal department to double check that if it's non-commercial and he's not a business, it's not business related, and it's a completely educational purposes, if he's allowed to ask for donations in a public park?
Educational purposes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that the ordinance, I'm enforcing the ordinance.
Yeah.
Whether the ordinance or not is a standard that's already been looked at by our legal department when they passed the law.
I hear you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You've got a municipal town attorney.
Yeah, I believe you.
That's contracted.
I trust that.
When they passed the law, they had that.
And it was legal.
So I'm here to enforce the ordinance.
So as long as I'm not doing that.
Do you want to read it?
I'll record it.
It's for you.
You can keep it. You can take it.
No, I know because I've done this before for like 8 weeks.
Sure.
So I've had this conversation before and I've won.
Okay.
And it's like you guys are repeating history.
Sure.
I shouldn't have to go to 10 cities and have to replay or repeat myself.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
So and it's like the police officers are not like, they're clearly misinterpreting the law purposefully. That law is legal, but I'm not breaking it because I'm not a non-profit and I'm not asking.
This lists a non-profit, but it also lists other.
What about non-commercial?
So it says commercial.
Yeah, I'm non-commercial.
Non-purposes goes upon premises
Yeah.
to promote, advertise, campaign, persuade, beg, or otherwise solicit for any purpose.
Yeah, that applies to people who are commercial, asking for money for commercial purposes, or asking for money on behalf of a charity, or asking for money on behalf of a nonprofit. I'm not doing any of those things. Those three things don't apply to people who are asking for educational purposes. For no money involved, no organization involved, it is a First Amendment right.
So tell me about the fundraiser then. Educate me on it.
It's a fundraiser to build a tool that improves mankind's existence.
Okay.
So this is not going to be for profit.
Sure.
It's not going to be for organization. It's not for a charity.
Okay. I'm
not in any of those categories. So it's a First Amendment protected activity.
So, and what is it? I guess tell me about it.
It's something about weightlifting.
It's a weightlifting idea I came up with 4 years ago.
Let me hear about it.
I don't want to tell you about it because
you don't want to tell me about it?
No, as long as it's not one of those three categories, I don't have to tell you about it.
But I guess my question is why won't you speak about it then?
I speak to potential donors about it. Sure. Anybody who's interested in donating and they show interest, I talk to them about it. But other than that, I don't like people who accuse me of a crime.
I'm not accusing you of a crime, but we have an ordinance.
Yeah, but your ordinance doesn't apply.
Based on what you're showing me, this does not mean that you're not making money off of this.
Well, that would be illegal. You could scan the code, or you could do your research. You could go on the internet, and you just tell me I'm making a profit. That's illegal. So that would mean every donation I've ever taken in the future would be tax evasion. That's a federal crime.
That's where I'm trying to ask you.
So I'm not going to commit a federal crime now or be caught later. That'd be stupid. I'm building something, collecting money for something, and then they're going to find out that I made a business off of it.
Okay.
So someone's going to know.
I'm just asking you.
I'm not going to get a federal crime. What do you call that? When you get caught doing what you just said. So if I was going to make a profit off this, if this was for a charity, if this was for an organization, it'd be posted on that QR code, or it'd be very easy to discover whether or not this fundraiser was associated with a charity or organization or commercial purpose. You don't even have to come approach me. You could discover that all by yourself. You could walk past, look at that sign. It's open to the public. The QR code is open to the public. This sign is open to the public. You could read for yourself and discover what he is doing. Before you came over here, you could have did some investigating to discover his purpose and if it violates any ordinance. But it doesn't violate any ordinance.
That's why we came to talk to you. To
Well,
know what's going on, but you're not
people
telling us what your
I just told you.
fundraiser is about.
I don't have to disclose the details of how the machine works.
That's part of us investigating.
Yeah, but that's like
I'll give you two things. So
Yeah.
Let's say this entire I'm sorry, you're saying it's non-commercial.
It's non-commercial.
You're saying it's non-commercial.
Yeah.
You'd still need a permit
No, you don't.
to do it in this park. Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
It's
It's a public
town park.
It's a public park.
It's owned by the town of Delevan, though. It's not a state park. It's a town-owned park.
Yeah, all public park. Is it a public park?
It's a public park.
Then all public parks have to respect the First Amendment constitutional rights to express yourself. So all these parks, every park in the state of Wisconsin has to allow people to express themselves without disrupting the park or using amplification materials like loudspeakers or taking up huge amounts of space. Under those circumstances, you need a permit. You got to ask permission. You got to set up a schedule, and then you can come and solicit, or you can even do what I'm doing. So it doesn't matter if it's commercial or non-commercial. If you take up space, you use amplification devices, if you draw a large crowd, there's lots of rules that require a permit. But as long as it's like just sitting here with a sign and you're not disrupting people, you're not using the amplification device, you're not using a large area, large space, you are allowed to do it.
So that's not true.
That is true.
In the town of Delevan.
Okay.
Because in the town of Delevan, any of this requires a permit that you would have had to seek out at the town hall.
I promise you that is incorrect. I swear to you, I've heard that same statement, and I've heard police officers correct it. It's not true. You don't need a permit as long as it's non-commercial and you're not disrupting people. You don't have an amplification device. You don't take up too much space. Those are the reasons you need a permit.
What makes it non-commercial versus commercial?
Commercial is business. anything business related, anything charitable.
How is this not a business?
Because it's education. I don't make a dollar off of it. So now, yesterday, today, or tomorrow, I will never make a profit off of this fundraiser.
The argument you're making, though, is every person that's out here panhandling for something.
No, that's for themselves.
Hear me out.
So for food and shelter, that's panhandling. But this is not for food or shelter.
But they could be doing it for an idea. For a non-commercial idea,
but that's theft. That would be theft.
That would not be theft.
If you lie to people,
theft would be taking something without the intent to return it.
Well, swindling someone, it's considered swindling. Lying to people and telling them you're going to build an idea and then using the money you received for food or shelter, that's called swindling people. You're lying to people, or theft. It's theft. It's categorically theft. You're lying to people about the purpose of the donation.
Appropriation.
Okay, the law calls it theft.
Theft meets a different statute with a totally different set of rules.
Okay, but all right, I'm not. My point is, I'm not out here telling people I want to build this and then using the funds for food or shelter. So that's panhandling. When you use money from donations from people for personal gain, that's different. This is for educational purposes. I don't gain anything in any way whatsoever from this fundraiser.
Okay, well, bottom line, the park does not want you here, so you do have to leave.
That's illegal.
You can stay, but you cannot be panhandling.
Okay, I'll take the citation.
It's not. We're not going to give you a citation.
Okay, then you're infringing on my freedoms.
We just want you to not do this. You can stay and enjoy.
It's not illegal.
It's
not illegal. Yeah, I did that. I did that over there. I already did that. It's not illegal. I know my rights. I've been doing this for 8 weeks. I just told you.
Where else did you do it at?
All over Wisconsin. I've done this in I think 60, 70 cities now. Well, that's a lie. Probably 30 cities, but 70 or 80 times. And I don't have problems except for the few police officers who don't understand the law. And then they get corrected. It takes 3 months, but they eventually get corrected and told that, hey, he has a right to solicit for donations as long as there's no personal gain. So as long as he's not gaining anything out of it.
I guess, so prove to me that you're not making a personal gain.
That's impossible. That's impossible.
So then how am I supposed to not just write the ticket?
Okay, you are supposed to catch me using the funds for non-personal. So you would call the feds. You would basically call the feds or call an investigator and say, hey.
There's 5 guys out here and everyone says non-commercial.
Yeah.
None of them can be touched because even no matter whatever lie
unless you can prove they're using the money for a different purpose. You have to follow them or you have to investigate them and prove that, hey, this person was using that money to do this or do that instead of what they told people they were using it for. So I don't know how people get caught doing that, but that's what you have to do. Yeah. For what purpose?
Well, you asked me to write you the ticket.
I didn't ask you to write. Well, I thought that was the direction you were going in.
Well,
so that's,
I don't want to write the ticket.
Yeah.
I just was asked to enforce this ordinance because we're having a community event here.
That ordinance doesn't apply to non-commercial purposes.
This ordinance does. You have to have a permit.
Okay.
You have
all
to
right.
have a permit.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I know for a fact you're lying right now.
Okay.
So I just came from Janesville. I know for a fact it's legal in there. It's a public park. I go to Madison Parks.
Okay.
I go to Stoughton Parks. I go to Egerton Parks. Sure. I go all over the state of Wisconsin.
Sure.
Doing the same thing. So I know you're lying. I know it's right.
No, I printed this out for you.
You're still not listening. I know you're listening. Okay.
You're not listening.
I'll take I'm not going to argue with you anymore.
Then
I'll take a lawsuit. Okay. You're going to write the citation? Are you going to? You're not getting my idea unless you're writing the citation.
I'm going to go research this.
Go research it, man. Why would you come over here and create this scene if you don't know the law before you come over here?
Because you were the one that just educated me on the law.
Okay, but you should have done that. You're supposed to have gravity. Police officers are supposed to have gravity.
I printed this ordinance right here, so you are in violation of this ordinance.
Okay, well, sure. I'll take the. If you're positive, if you're 100% certain, I'll take the citation.
Okay, it's like you're ready.
Okay.
Now, are you going to leave or stop doing this once I write the citation?
That's up to you. What's the citation for?
The citation is for not having a permit.
Okay, you're retarded. All right. No, I'm not going to leave. So you might want to write 2. So
at some point in time they're going to ask us to remove you.
All right. So that's a citation for trespass, right? So that's 2. You're going to write 2 Oh crap! That's my credit card. Yeah, 2 citations. 2 citations, right? So you might as well skip through it and go for the trespass citation because that's the one that's going to get me removed.
I'll take that.
So it's up to you. So I hope you're going to write the citation.
All right. want to hang out of this?
No, you're stupid. You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot.
You're kind of being rude here.
I don't give a fuck. It's a freedom of speech.
I thought you were educated and
I am educated, but now you just violated my rights. You just violated my rights. You just you're going to write it.
You're telling
now
me
I
that
have
you
no
can't
respect
even prove.
for you.
You're telling me that you can't even prove.
I do. I have to stop recording to give you the.
That's what I'm looking for, though. You prove to me that it's not.
But you could do it too.
No, I can't. Because I don't even know what this is.
And that's why you were supposed.
Prove it's non-commercial.
You're supposed to investigate. Yes, you can go on the internet. You can go call your deputies. You can research what this is, or call somebody and discover what is his fundraiser, and is it commercial? Is it associated with a charity? Is it a non-profit organization? If it's not one of those things, he's not in violation of the ordinance. As long as it is for a personal build or non-personal gains.
But I'm saying you have to explain to me that it's for non-personal gains. Because I'm not just going to be able to find online that it's not.
You could have scanned that, came over and said, "Hey, I want to scan your code so I can discover your purpose."
I'm not going to scan QR codes that I don't know about. That's how people steal your information.
No, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, that is true. Scanning a QR code can give access to a phone.
All right, dude.
John, so is this your current address?
Yep. I explained the law to you guys 5 times. I'm gonna sue the hell out of you. You just lost qualified immunity. I'm not giving you that because I don't have to.
That's fine.
Holy shit,
we'll
dude!
Be back with you here, John.
Holy shit! That's Delevan, dude. The town of Delevan. I explained the law 5 times. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's illegal. Holy shit. That's the Delevan, city of Delevan, man. Holy shit. Holy shit. They just violated my rights. It doesn't matter, man. It's not a charity. It's not a commercial. They just told me in my ears, you're doing something illegal. And I just told them that's not true. This is non-commercial. It's not associated with a charity. There's no organization involved. This is a freedom. Complete freedom. Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. Why do they keep doing this shit?